what is up, people? Okay, I am going to give some examples today of how do you handle situations that are out of your control. And I'm going to talk about this as I'm zoomed out of the situation. And I'm just going to use metaphors and examples of situations that could be happening to other people, not myself. Example. Let's just say you are co-parenting and you have rules and co-parenting guidelines like a court order. Let's just say that the other parent or one of the parents isn't following that order. So let's just say that you want to go to pick up your child from school, and let's just say they're not there because they've been picked up due to extracurricular activities. What do you do in this situation? And what do you do in situations that are unexpected and sometimes can be continuous to continue to happen? And let's just say you've done everything that you can possibly do to stop these situations from happening, but they continue to happen. In life, we deal with things day to day, nonstop, and you are plugging along, working, doing all the things, trying to create peace and abundance and be on your merry way. And whoa! Out of this fucking left field, you just keep getting certain things coming into your path that are just so lovely. So much fun. So, how do you handle that? How do you handle these situations? So, something that I've learned how to do in my situation and in my world and journey is handling what I can control. You can't control another person or their actions because that will just leave you completely upset and allow them to have the ability to dictate your emotions. And that's something that you definitely don't want to do. That would be if you're controlled, you're tethered to someone else, then you're able to be triggered really easily. So, focusing on what you can control. So what I do in situations that pop up into my world is I zoom out for a moment, I take a breath, and I think about how will my actions implement or create a reaction? What can I focus on and what can I control? So in a situation like this that I was talking about, let's just say this was happening in my world. And I would then look at, okay, do I respond? Do I go and pick up my child early? Do I just go along with the flow and pick up my child and take them to the extracurricular activity and pick them up early from school? Look at all of your scenarios and paint yourself a big picture and think, what is going to be the best thing for you and your child and the situation? For me, and for any situation that has to do with another person, first, acknowledge your actions. You can easily enter into the drama. You can easily go and email, or you can get angry, or you can retaliate and react. Or you can sit back and say, you know what? If I do that, I'm just entering the frequency of the other person. I'm acting in alignment with them, opposed to zooming out and taking the high road, let's call it. So what I will do is focus on what I can control, educate or update, the teacher that I am not in agreement with my child leaving school early. This is not something that I have given consent to. And then at that point, you need to seek external help. And so let's just say you've gone to a lawyer or you're dealing with a lawyer. And at this point, you need to decide what is going to be the next step for you and your rights. So for me, what I did is I zoom out and I take a breather and I focus on what I can control. And then I look at it from a different perspective and I'm like, what does my heart and what do I want? What do I think is in the best interest of my child? And then when you're operating out of your heart, you can get the answers. But if we operate from a place of fight or flight or panic, we're not even able to see clearly, knowing that, is this really going to matter in a year's time? No. So what is my biggest concern out of all this is completely disregarding and bypassing my parenting rights. And then that's trickling down to my son to realize he can leave school. School's not number one. That mom's rules and time doesn't matter. And also following a rule is very important for kids to understand also stability and structure. So let's just say in someone's world that they have to take action. And so the past version of a lot of us is just roll with it. Oh, it's no big deal. Just push it under the cover. Allow it to just keep happening. And as you allow these things to keep happening, it's like a snowball. Things get bigger and bigger. And it gets to the point where, it really doesn't matter what you say or do. It's not going to be followed anyways. And from time and time again, in years of being pushed over and, boundaries and not having that respect, it becomes a bigger issue. So let's just say with co-parenting, you go and get a lawyer and you're having to go down this rabbit hole and you're needing to get help. And at this point, it's so sad. It's so sad. Because think of, it's like two people that used to be in love and connected to bring a beautiful soul into this world gets to a place where they can't even co-parent and communicate. So it's so sad that when we have to get to this place of getting a lawyer, and then the lawyer has to intervene, and then you go to a judge, and then the judge is shown and painted a photo of all these different actions that have happened to then make a decision. It is just sad. It's so childish because it's two grown-ass adults that should be able to raise their child if you are able to operate fairly. And for me, I'm fair. I am as fair can be. I'm the type of person that I go to the point where I'm like, hey, you know what? You just you keep this, you do this, focus on what you can on your own time and on your parenting time, and I do the same. But what do you freaking do when you've exhausted every avenue? And it's just so sad. So focusing on what I can control. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to stoop down to anyone else's level. I'm just going to zoom out and trust in the process. And when you've exhausted every avenue, that's what you need to do. This is where my higher self, spiritual stuff, universe just comes in and steps in and handles things. Because who wants to be bypassed? Who wants to always put themselves last? It's not going to work. It doesn't work. It's going to eventually become such a problem in your world if you continue to bypass your wants and needs and desires and rights and parenting time to do what you want to do on your parenting time. So let's go back for a moment and focus on what you can control in these moments of despair or something's happened that's out of your control. So what you want to do is disconnect from the situation, put the phone away. Maybe that's go take a walk, take a few breaths, but actually feel what's going on. And so what I will do is I will literally feel what the hell is going on in my body. We get panicky, we get upset, we're pissed off, there's anger. And as women and beings, there's times where we're told like you can't be angry and to be soft and to be gentle and to be kind. And it's like giving yourself full permission to be angry, full permission to face it head on and be like, this isn't right. This isn't okay. I'm not okay with this and I'm fucking pissed. And then move into feeling it, allowing that anger to come up. Like I said, go for a walk, go hug a tree, go for a run, zoom out, write about it, but sit in it. Let that fucking anger be present and say, this is fine and okay for you to feel angry or upset or sad, whatever the emotion is. And then come back to your action. And what is your action? What can you control? You can't control what the other person's doing. So you can control yourself. Handling your own triggers. Being able to still move forward. Focus on, okay, well, now that my son is picked up, I'm going to have this amount of time that's free time. What can I do during that time to make myself feel better and to create some sort of action? And maybe that's writing an email. Maybe that's calling your lawyer. Maybe that's going and doing a meditation. Wrap yourself in a fucking blanket and tell yourself you're safe, because we're so quick to jump into fight or flight like we're not safe. So this is something that I've been working through and something that I'm trusting in the process. And I am hopeful. That's all I can do is be like, you know what? I've exhausted every avenue. Now it's out of my hands. And what's meant to be is going to be. And that's it. That's all that I can do. And it's like back to, if you guys watched the episode that I recently just did, it's on basically being stuck and on triggers, sexuality. And I talk about my business, your business, and God's business, which is reality. It's just this moment. I can't focus and think about what the ex is up to and be all up in his mind and his business and attaching and thinking. I'm going to stay in my business. This is what I can control. This is what I can do. And then God's business or reality or the universe is going to take it. It's going to handle the situation exactly as it needs to. And so if we allow ourselves to zoom out and to step back, trust in the process and be patient, allow for miracles to happen and just watch. Just watch and you're going to see. And then you know what else? This situation that's happening, I'm so grateful for, because I've been given this time to process my own triggers and my own emotions so that I'm not dictating or my life isn't being run by someone else. Even when the shittiest of shit happens, which let me tell you, I have had really shitty things happen. And that is when we put all of our tools and all of our practice in motion. Focus on what you can control. Stay in your own lane. Your business. That is it. And I'm pulling a card for everybody for today. And my intention behind even sharing this, I'm the type of person that I like to focus obviously on the positive. But day-to-day bullshit happens. And it's these types of things that I can share with others to give you a little insight of like what I do during these moments and during this time. And instead of playing in other people's energy and frequency and low vibration, like going back and forth, and when you've exhausted every avenue, and let me tell you, I have been going at this for months. and I've exhausted every avenue. So it's like finally gets to the point when enough is enough. And I've had patience on top of patience on top of patience. I'm a really patient person and I'm really easy to get along with. But it's like when you keep bypassing me and my time, you've gone too far. You just keep taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it. And then it gets to the point where it's sad. It's really sad. And all you can do is wish others love and hope that they figure it out for themselves. And hopefully that their ego can be put to rest and they can take a back seat and see how this is affecting not only the relationship, but the child and so many other people involved. And it's unnecessary. It is absolutely unnecessary for anybody. It's really not serving anybody at all. So I'm grateful for it because I'm able to share it and help others when they're going through things where they think that it's out of their control or they're stuck. And I'm like, no, you're not. There's nothing out of your control. You're never stuck. There's always a solution. The solution will present itself at the perfect time. And don't do anything alone. You need help. Like, access professionals and people that know what they're doing so that you're not being backed into a corner, being bullied and being dictated and controlled. It's really sad. And some people have a very strong pattern of operating this way. If they don't get what they want, they'll do whatever it takes to do it anyways. And the moment you say no, that's like a green light for them to just fly. It's like drama. Some people love to create problems and they bask in it, and it feeds them and it keeps them distracted from themselves and their own healing. So back to this moment, I'm going to share this actually. So this morning I woke up out of the blue and I hear this scream, you guys. Like, this scream was so loud and I thought it sounded like my mom saying Mark, like Mark, but a scream that's like he just fell off the roof or like something crazy happened. So I'm like, jump out of bed. I'm like literally wearing a t-shirt. I run out of my house and I hear this girl screaming on the top of her lungs. And I look over and I'm on the balcony and I can see this girl in her towel and she's naked and she's crying and she's like banging on the door and screaming to get in. And then there's this other younger man. I don't know how old he is, but like probably late teens, maybe early 20s, and is losing their mind. And I go into the house and I'm like, told my mom, I was like, oh my God, like that freaked me out. I thought something happened to dad, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, I can't even hear anything. And she had music on. So I go back outside, and when I was outside, I saw like the dad, I guess, go over to it was a rental house, and he's like banging on the door telling the kid to open up and to calm down or whatever. And then I go back outside and she is in the other side of the driveway, wrapped up, bawling her eyes out, and like nobody's helping her or anything. And I'm not kidding you guys, like it brought back memories to the past. And I was like, oh my God, it was like, that was me in my like late teens. And when there was a fight or when, there's this big situation and screaming and yelling. And I was just like, what do I do? I'm like, here's that same thing of my business, your business, God's business. And I'm like, I don't want to get into someone else's business. But at this point, she is screaming. She's banging on the door. She's naked. This guy is screaming and losing his mind inside. So I was like, are you okay? And she's banging on the door and she's like crying. And she's like, there's someone here. And she's telling the other guy on the door. And I'm like, I was like, this is not okay. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, I was sleeping and I woke up to somebody screaming like somebody was dying. I'm like, are you okay? And I heard like the lady in the house and maybe the dad, and comes back out, and I said, the screaming is still going on. And she's like, the neighbor is saying this. And I was like, you guys, I'm like, this is abuse. I'm like, this is absolutely not okay. This is abuse. I'm like, at this point, I need to phone the police. Like, seriously, this isn't okay. And when I guess the dad and whoever came over and said what they needed to say, but it was like a full circle moment. And I was like, this is an opportunity in life when we can just be bypassers, where we just walk by and pretend like we don't see anything. And I was like, this girl needs help. Nobody's helping her, not even the parents in the home. She's just left outside to lose it and to be on her own. And it was this moment of me being like, oh, I wish somebody was there for me during those times. And there was a time that there was shit had hit the fan, and there was this huge fight and in the relationship and all of that. And somebody did phone the police, and it broke it up. It stopped the fight. It stopped the abuse. And I was like, I hope in that moment, even that me being like, are you okay? And stepping in a little bit offered it to at least stop. And it's crazy because people are in these situations all the time. They're in the abuse, they're in the control. And the people, you know, these women or men that are controlling other people, they don't even see it. And it's so scary because it's just second nature. It's just how they operate. They want to get their own way, or they want to freak out and lose their temper. And it's like, these are actual little kids that are screaming out for attention and to be seen and heard. And they're having temper tantrums. And their temper tantrum is exactly what they learned as a child. And they're still doing it to this day. And in relationships, they aren't able to see past their own freaking arm. So I'm sharing this because it's like, zoom out, focus on what you can control, and don't allow other people to continuously walk all over you and have no respect for you and your time. And really, it's what the other people need. Even though, you know, you can feel bad for having to step in or get help or surround yourself with this team. But at the end of the day, it's just what they signed up for. They signed up for a wake-up call just as much as you signed up to stand up for yourself. So focus on what you can control. Handle the stress in the best way by not entering their level. Don't match their frequency or vibration. Matching screaming is going to create nothing but more screaming. Screaming with a wall, with no energy, no feeding it, with removing yourself, there is nothing for them to attach to. They are going to be continuously holding a burning hot coal in their hand, and they're going to continue to burn themselves. And this is where cancer, dis-ease, illness, things like your body screams out to you to get your attention, to say, stop. Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do here? Who are you trying to control? You're hurting yourself in this process. You are the only person that's you're being a victim. You're victimizing yourself, and you're hurting yourself to the point that you're creating distress, dis-ease, and all the things. So on that note, I wanted to pull a card pull for everybody that is watching this. And the card that I had before, I just lost it. So now I don't even know what it was. But I want to pull in real time so that you guys can see that any message that needs to come through for your highest and best good, allow it to come through now. Oh, there was a lot. There was a lot. Okay, 3 cards. 3 cards, and I'm going to say all of them. Okay, Here we go. And also I have to show you guys, look at this. Sacred Soul, and look, I love you. 'Cause I love you. I love you all. Thank you guys for being here. Okay. Trust your angels. What did I say at the beginning of this? I was like, sometimes I had a card recently and it said, have faith in the process. And even when it feels like the wheels are falling off of your trolley, trust in the process, trust in the higher power. And it's like, it said, what a thousand men could do won't even touch what the universe has in store for you. What God, source, energy, angels, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in, has got the situation under control. And I fully believe that and know it deep within my heart. So it says, let go of your expectations of how your dreams will come true. Trust that heaven has a perfect plan. Thank you. I absolutely will. Second card for y'all. Welcome abundance into your life. Prosperity is on its way to you. Have faith that source will heal your financial challenges. Let's go. Another quick tip on abundance. So be really mindful of what you're saying. The words you use in the now are an energetic exchange. So if you're saying things like, oh, I can't afford this, or I'm not this, or I'm stuck, or I can't move, blah, 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 you're literally creating that into your reality. So if you can say, oh, life flows with ease, or welcoming abundance, I am abundant, grateful for what you already have, that's going to allow for more. And the third card is number 9, which is completion. And guess what it says? Don't give up on love. So this is it. It says, a relationship you cherish can be healed. Allow me to clear the way for forgiveness so that love can thrive again. It's interesting. There was just a leg. Dolphins have been a thing. Even in my son's, one of his homework things that he's doing, and it was on his little app, was dolphins. And dolphins are such beautiful, loving, nurturing beings. So remember to always lead with love. Choose love over fear. Don't be afraid. Choose love over fear. Love will always win. The highest vibration in this entire planet, universe, galaxy, multi-dimensional beings is fucking love. Period. That's it. So the fear, false evidence appearing real that you're creating in your mind by focusing on other people's business, which, yes, I will say, I totally focused on somebody else's business today, but I felt the pull. I was like, I can't sit and watch any longer this this girl lose her mind. But focusing on what you can control and focus on love. Love heals all. Forgiveness is everything. No matter what, even at times when I'm going through all these types of things, I'm always forgiving because I'm like, you know what? This isn't going to matter in a matter of time. Like, it really isn't. There is going to be a solution to all of this that's happening. It's happening for me, not to me. And I'm going to let all of this co-conspire to make the best plan and the best solution for all involved. And I don't ever have like malicious ill wishes upon anybody. I totally want to be able to be in an environment to co-parent in a healthy way for my son's highest and best good, for his highest and best good, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. He's the one that matters. Our children are pure, perfect souls, and we want to harness that and allow that to thrive and allow them to see, feel, and know love, not dualities, hate, anger, malicious, rivalry. That doesn't work. It's not working in this world. It doesn't do anything for anybody. It just creates a whole shit ton of drama. So anyway, this is longer than I wanted it to be, but I hope you take a little bit of something from what I have to say. Always take the higher route. Zoom out like the eagles. Eagles fly highest in the sky, closest to the creator, and all the other birds are just flying in low, doing the things. Just zoom out and remember, if this isn't going to matter in a year, don't even fucking worry about it. It's going to pass. It's going to get better. So much love.